In the heart of bustling Lagos, young Kelechi wandered the streets barefoot, his ribs visible through his tattered shirt. Each day was a fight for survival, begging from shop to shop, hoping for leftover scraps. Most people ignored him or shouted him away. But hunger pushed him onward. One scorching afternoon, he found himself in front of a high-end restaurant, staring at customers through the glass like a child watching a dream. Inside the restaurant sat a tall, silver-haired white man in an expensive suit, Richard Coleman, an American billionaire on a business trip to Nigeria. He was finishing his lunch when he noticed Kelechi standing outside, eyes glued to the plate. Something in the boy's expression tugged at his heart. Richard waved at the waiter and pointed to the boy. The waiter brought Kelechi inside. Shivering with fear and confusion, Kelechi expected to be thrown out or punished. But Richard offered him food, hot jollof rice, grilled chicken, and chilled water. As the boy ate ravenously, Richard asked him questions. Kelechi explained how he lost his parents and survived on the streets. Moved by the story, Richard made a bold decision: he would not let this boy return to the streets. The next morning, Richard took Kelechi to the U.S. Embassy, sorted documents, and arranged for temporary guardianship. In less than a month, Kelechi was in America, stunned by the glass skyscrapers and flashing lights. Richard's mansion was unlike anything he'd ever imagined: sprawling gardens, a library larger than any building he'd seen, and a room just for him. Kelechi's first day at school was a mix of wonder and confusion. He couldn't understand the accent, struggled with the new subjects, and felt like an outsider. But Richard hired a tutor and a mentor for him. Slowly, Kelechi began to read, write, and solve math. His intelligence blossomed, and teachers were amazed at how quickly he caught up. Though they came from different worlds, Kelechi and Richard built a powerful father-son bond. They played board games together, took trips to museums, and celebrated birthdays. For the first time in his life, Kelechi felt loved, not for what he had, but for who he was. Richard started introducing him as his son. But life wasn't always easy. At 16, Kelechi began questioning his identity. Where did he come from? What happened to his real parents? One day, he discovered an old picture in a Nigerian orphanage registry. The memories came flooding back: his mother's voice, the fire that burned their home, the panic. He asked Richard if he could return to Nigeria to trace his roots. With Richard's blessing, Kelechi flew back to Nigeria. He visited the orphanage where he once lived, met some of the caretakers who remembered his mother, and even found an old friend from the street. The reunion grounded him. He donated generously to the orphanage and pledged to build a school for street children in his former neighborhood. Back in the U.S., Kelechi graduated with honors and became a powerful motivational speaker. He shared his story with crowds across the world, how a single act of kindness changed his destiny. He launched a foundation called Second Chance, funding education for street children globally. Every interview he gave, he mentioned Richard Coleman as the man who saved his life. Now in his 30s, Kelechi stood beside Richard, older and grayer, at a global humanitarian award ceremony. The world applauded as the billionaire and the once homeless boy received joint recognition for their work. As they hugged on stage, Richard whispered, "You were never just a charity case, you were the son I never had." Kelechi smiled, tears in his eyes. From beggar to billionaire's son, he had truly come full circle.